Hello, everybody. Hello. It's the abstractionist coming with Pluto. Pluto. Summer 2024. Sorry, it's a lot going on. Pluto. So, Pluto. This is for people who have prominent Pluto placements, home, domicile, fall, detriment, it doesn't really matter. Prominent aspects in their charts. Not too many Plutos that you can have, but, you know. Not too many of them that you can have. So, I'm using 7th C deck for Pluto. Always like this one. Always gives me some grim fairy tales. Anyway, Ace of Cups, 8 of Swords, reverse. Okay. What we doing? I see it. You're powering through. Okay, great. I knew Pluto. See, Pluto coming in the clutch. Your last one. If you chose this one, I'm glad. Pluto, you going through some transformations. You see the way. You know what the hell's going on. With this card, I always feel like when it's like this, it's like there is some scars. So this could be people who also have no lie, they could be veterans in some capacity. You successfully, I feel like, dealt with some sort of treatment plan that has pinpointed some issues. So congratulations. This may be people who finally found a prescription that worked for them when it comes for their mental health or whatever. They finally got their sleep schedule together. They finally got their money together so they can afford X, Y, and Z. They finally got shit together. You know what I'm saying? They got shit together. There's 9 of Wands. This is for my survivors, because this is what it looks like that. It's like 9 of Wands, but yeah. So my survivors, my people that have been moved on, and then you got the Ace of Swords right there. Yes, really moving through. So moving through your limitations, moving through what is, moving through like all of that stuff, and putting your money where your mouth is. Like, you want to do it, you go ahead and do it, and exploring new things. So some of you guys, you have had long withstanding like things that you needed to deal with, and why is this up here? 3 of Cups and the Prophet. Maybe you had somebody like do work for you, and I'm talking about do work as in like spiritual work, like do work, some cleansing baths, some spiritual work. You've been listening to affirmations. That shit seems like it's popping off. With that 3 of Cups, it does seem like it's more than just you. It's you, like your friend, these affirmations on Head Start, some shit like that. Like it's a lot of things. You may have been rereading things like you used to write about your life and what you wanted to do, and you're like, damn, I finally did that, and have moved forward successfully. And I really fuck with that. Like, I like that. I really do. I really like that. I really like that this is like positive. I really enjoy that. I almost just want to be like, this is it, and just log off. So moving forward, I feel like being very focused, and this is something that will have to be overcome, because I feel like the 3 of Swords is still there. There's still lingering like memories that trigger you. For some people, like I said, if you're vets, you still gonna have to work through that. Like, you're sleeping and then waking up and stuff like that in the middle of the night. But I would, talk to your, medical provider about that. But I feel like there's an openness and an honesty and like a forwardness about this. I just feel like there's a forwardness about, I'm really proud of y'all. There's a forwardness about this energy that's just like, yeah, I used to do that. Yeah, I used to be out, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm better. I'm on a treatment plan. I'm on this. I'm on a payment plan. I got things I got going for me. I like relieve my stress. Some of you guys are about to go on some sort of retreat, and that will be the transformational kind of experience that you have that'll move you forward. Like, so I've been watching, I don't really watch videos like this, but like it comes up on my feed sometimes, like, oh, I tried the 10-day silent meditation, something like that. Like, you may be heading towards like doing something like that, like a transformational like trip where you do spiritual meditations, or like you started fasting, or you started like doing something where you commune with something outside of yourself, but really it's kind of within yourself as well, and listening to yourself and clearly hearing what you are talking about, right? And clearly seeing the vision that you had, and clearly understanding that you needed clarity, and you needed to be able to focus on what you were trying to do, but you had a lot of obstacles that were holding you back, and a lot of them may have been mental. But once you, and mental is in mental health as well, and once you got that figured out, you could figure out what you're doing. So some people, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of people maybe schizoaffective, schizophrenia, stuff like that. So a lot of things, and you had to like really get honest about that shit and sit down. For some people, like I said, you're vets, and maybe you've been trying to like push through, but you have been able to like really hone in on these issues and conquer them. I'm just very proud. Like, you don't know. Like, I am so proud. I don't even want to like do too much. I would say for summer 2024, just keep it up. I would make sure, yeah, I'm just so goddamn positive. 6 of Wands. You got the betrayal here. Now. I would say, if you start encountering people that are bringing you back to this place, please leave them alone. Like, leave them alone. And stop making excuses about them. And stop making excuses about yourself, too. Leave them alone. Right? 6 of Swords. Leave them alone. Like, leave them alone. People who knew you at a certain point, especially when you were more negative and they trying to put you back to that, leave it alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They're clearly not. It could be people also who you start to see with a more discerning eye, like now that you're sober and stuff like that. Like, now that you're there, you can kind of see the skill set that you have that they are lacking, or the circumstances that you both were, and you made it out kind of alive, in terms of like parts of you are still intact, right? Like, so one of the things that I see like this is when you look into someone's eyes, and if they're like vacant or not, you can kind of tell like how rough things have gotten and how worn down they have gotten through life, right? And so looking into someone's eyes, when they look into your eyes, you are brilliant. Just brilliant. Oh God, I love it. Brilliant. You see things, you have a future, you're moving on, things are moving forward. You will just have to leave people behind that are like the negative people. You're gonna have to leave them behind. Reunion. Now this could be with older parts of yourself, like, man, like I used to draw, then you start drawing again. Man, I used to work out, then you work out again. I used to do these positive things, right? This could also be with reunion, getting those like chemical brain signals firing in a more positive way. This is my haunted card. You're using that hauntedness as a motivation to move forward and to actually do something and not sit in that energy. And I like it. Like it a lot. I do. 4 of Coins. Now, work against, I would say, try to make sure that you're not overly stimulated. You give yourself some rest, because some of you guys may have like addictive like behaviors, and like overdoing it like overstimulates you. Overstimulates. relation. I think that just understanding what you need is going to be helpful. So we have the Lovers. Her boob is there, so I can't really show you, but the Lovers. And then you have the Hanged Man and the Emperor. So some of you guys, you know, really took some time away from people just to figure out what was going on. Queen of Cups. Yeah, to figure out what the hell was going on, to figure out where you were emotionally, because you were just like, damn, like, what's happening? Queen of Wands. And then fighting through it. You have the Tower. So some of you guys, your Tower is coming up where you may end up having to face these old people, these old things that you try and do, and moving forward with that, moving forward with all this stuff. But I kind of just feel like if you stick with what you were doing, you're gonna pull through. And if you keep that clarity in your mind, like whatever you're doing is very clear. Like I just feel so clear, like everything is burnt away in terms of distractions, and you're very clear and you're very vocal. It's not necessarily you're vocal to other people, like telling other people your plans. It's very vocal, like what I need to do. Like it's almost like you're standing in front of a map and you're like just Xing things and circling things, and what you've done you're putting to the side, and what you need to do you're bringing forward. And it's like this very systematic kind of thing. And that leads me to kind of think about working with a professional who has the ability to give you the structure necessary, or you finding structure within, like having a daily routine, having meditation, making sure if you're taking medication you take it, all of these things. Like when you are trying to do something and it's stressful for you, making sure that you kind of don't fall back into like ultra negative cycles over and over and over again. It's just very inspiring. I feel like if anyone wants to see any like positive reading, I would definitely like, oh my god, watch this one. Sadness and calm. So there was a lot of working through this. So I'm gonna read these two and then we're gonna wrap this joint up. So, sadness. During the Renaissance, a familiarity with gloom was thought to be a lesson in resilience. There was even a self-help book, The Castle of Health, written by Thomas Eliot in 1534, that suggests reasons to be more sad. Such a suggestion is unlikely to sell in our happiness-obsessed self-help industry now, or today, but perhaps the idea that we might have to learn the art of sadness still has resonance. The authors Alan Horowitz and Jerome Wakefield discuss the widely acknowledged epidemic of depression. Though depression is certainly a real and serious illness, they suggest that in some cases, ordinary sadness is being misdiagnosed as major depressive disorder. Others have also recognized the dangers of seeing sadness as a problem to be medicated away, as this might leave us poorly equipped to manage in the future. So this aside, something that you may have to work through. Just saying. Something you might have to work through. I feel like it's more positive if you work with people, but I understand where they're going with it. Others have recognized the dangers of seeing sadness as a problem to be medicated away, as this might leave us poorly equipped to manage in the future. For the psychotherapist Susie Orbach, it sends a message that pain can't be borne, lived through, and tolerated, robbing us of an ability to recognize sorrow as an enriching part of life. Sadness is the process through which we adjust to a new version of ourselves after loss or disappointment. It protects us and gives us strength. As known during the Renaissance, if we see sadness as an unfamiliar creature, we will be less resilient to it and more vulnerable to its more serious manifestations. I do agree with that. So you have gone through this, like, bravo, like, just bravo, like, my goodness. You've gone through it and you've been better for it. But I would also, if you had medical stuff you got to deal with, fuck what they talking about. If you do have to have some medical care, ain't no shame in it. And perhaps dealing with the shame is why people, they don't say nothing. But okay, calm. Let's read that one. When anxiety, let me just turn it over so you don't get distracted. When anxiety sends shocks behind the eyes, or fear thuds in the chest, or love is so rapturous we think we'll lose our footing, we long to conjure what we think is our normal state of calm. Today, smoothing the mind's scratchy edges is largely achieved by pharmaceuticals. So again, this may be something you may be looking to get up off of that, off the pills and stuff like that, medication, injections, whatever you're doing. But in the 1960s, it looked as if neurotechnology might just beat the drugs to it. Through requiring an invasive procedure, celebrated neuroscientist Jose Delgado thought his electronic implants might offer an elegant solution to disordered emotions. We'll see. Emotion modification experiments recorded in 1965 showed the unarmed scientist in a bull ring in Cordoba, Spain. In one hand, he holds a matador's cape, in the other, a small remote control box. A bull snorts and stamps on the ground. It charges toward the scientist. Only moments from being gored, Delgado flicks a switch which controls an electronic chip embedded in the bull's brain. The animal stops and turns away, passive and relaxed. Its aggression and destructive fury, reported Delgado, ceased instantly. Not endlessly. Instantly. It's when emotions get too much that we may fantasize about one of Delgado's remote controls. One woman from Rhode Island asylum with a history of drug abuse and jail time begged Delgado to implant one of his electrodes. He refused. So maybe you did it without the medication. An even greater feat. I feel like there's just a lot of clarity here. A lot of clarity, and I'm very happy to see that. Very, very, very happy to see that. I think that summer 2024 is a really successful time for you. We'll see what fall 2024 brings you. But Pluto people, I'm so happy for you. This one came out Desire. I'm not going to read it because it wasn't the main ones. But I just applaud you guys for working through what you have worked through and seeing what you have seen and moving forward and acting on your health and growing and healing and shit like that. Even if it was painful, because it does seem like it was quite painful. Even if it was painful, you moved through it, and that's just something I admire. So thank you very much, Pluto, for allowing me to read for you today. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys later in the fall.